Good morning. Welcome back. This is our last topic we have to discuss. This is our last study group, and I'm honored to be presenting to you social linguistics in language teaching. So it is really important for us as future English teacher to take all the knowledge from social linguistics and apply it to our future English classes. So do you know the drill already? We'll be going to be discussing two questions. But first, I need to be explaining a little bit of information about the relationship between social linguistics and language in language teaching. So, language is a social factor among politics and culture that plays a vital role in how we communicate, right? So, in a society, we have to take all this into consideration for our English classes, and not only be teaching all the grammar points, right? You know, those are important as well, but we also have to take into consideration how regular people talk, how people in their daily basis talk. So we also have to take into consideration how our students are going to be capable of communicating effectively, depending on the context, to the person they're talking to where they're standing, etc. So this is our first question that we have here, and I'm just going to explain briefly. You have up to 2 minutes to answer this question, and I'll be starting with Abril. So please, you have 2 minutes to answer. What is the relevance of social linguistics in language teaching? Go ahead. I'm going to be showing you an emoji. If you round out of time, I'll be have to interrupt you. So please do not get mad, right? I'll be
How many minutes do I have?
up to 2 minutes. Maximum 2 minutes, minimum one. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, well, so I think the importance of social linguistics in language teaching is that it amplifies our teaching methods, because it gives us like these ideas, or not like ideas, but these clarifications about how many type of languages there are. And I'm not just talking about, differences like German, English, French, etc. We're talking about varieties and recognizing that some groups of a language speak differently than others within the same language. It's really important because, like I said, it helps us to understand better that language is not within the box of the standard um, language. So, for example, when we as students right now and future teachers, we're probably gonna follow a book. And for example, we're learning Cambridge, which is British English, but we have more contact with the North American English but it's not the only English. There are a lot of types of English, even as we learned in the different circles, the inner outer circles in different countries. So I think social linguistics is, since it's studying how the language changes alongside society, gives us that amplification that it's not only just one standardization of a language, but we can showcase to students more variety of it. Thank you.
Here. So yeah, it is really important that we as teachers take real situations and apply and adapt all the activities from the book to the real situations, right? So now all the activities are not going to be based on filling the gap, but now the activities will be having something that can be used in real situations, right? So yeah, what about you, Paoli? Can you tell us what is the relevance of social linguistics in language teaching? You have 2 minutes.
Sure. Yes. Well, social linguistics, I would say that it's really relevant to the context of these in language teaching for several reasons, and I would like to mention some of them. First of all, as you know that nowadays it's very common that teachers just focus like in words, grammar, or text content when teaching language. However, while learning a language in order to use it, I think we have to consider other aspects like appropriate places, context, and for sure the culture of the language. So in this way, students can effectively communicate with others. That's why I think every learner should have this some awareness of social linguistics, because the fact of using language is that it is social. So this is like the main relation between social linguistics and language teaching. Um, Also, I would like to add that much of actual communication is just beyond knowing just words or grammar of the language. Without considering communication in its entirety, learners will never be fluent in a language. So, because language is used in very different situations, context, and by different people and by different cultures or and by different reasons. So I think it's very important to take into consideration those factors to effectively communicate with others. So this awareness of social linguistics in language teaching is crucial for teaching students that there's not like a correct language or the way we can speak. Instead, there is like a more effective way of using language in its variable situations and context. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, every speaker of a language is use the language the way they like, right? The way they prefer. And this is not taught on the textbooks, right? So we as teachers have to take into consideration this part, not to be teaching something that is bad or bad perceived by the people, but take these social linguistics aspects of language and apply them into our future classes. So yeah, so now we have a video. We have a video about well, I have to explain first. There's a method which is the CLT, communicative language teaching, which is based on communicative competence, and this competence is based in even more competences. One of them being the sociolinguistic competence. So we're going to be seeing this video, and I want you, if you want, to comment something which you perceive as important. But if not, we're going to move on to the next question, which is related to this video. Okay? Okay. I don't know why that happened. Or do you hear it?
Communicative competence.
How do I?
Yes, we can listen.
Nobody. I didn't.
Are you fed up with not understanding people in English?
People don't understand you.
You need to improve your communicative competence. Come on, guy, I want to go to the playground.
This is not a way to talk in classroom. You need to improve your sociolinguistic competence.
I am sorry, teacher. Can I go to the playground, please?
Sociolinguistic competence is the capacity to adapt your language to different contexts.
Hello, I can play with you.
My father says that this isn't the correct way to ask a question.
Oh dear, sorry. Can I play with you?
Of course, because now you have a good grammar competence. Grammar competence is the capacity of using properly linguistic forms and structures of language. What did you do today at school?
I played in the playground and I answered math and Mary played with me on the teacher.
Hey, wait. You need to organize your idea. You need to improve your discursive competence. Discursive competence is the capacity of organizing your discourse with coherence and cohesion. And the verbs make the houses of the thief to take care of.
Oh, she has a very good strategic competence. Strategic competence is the capacity of knowing how to get on when you don't know how to say something. Thank you for your attention.
That's it. So now, is there anyone who wants to say something relevant about the video? No? Okay, we're going to move on.
Yes, I would
Okay.
just
Yeah.
a little comment. Well, I think it's very interesting that how this video marked the importance of, in this case, social linguistic competence. Because we were saying, sorry, that this social linguistic is important to talk in different contexts. So that's why it's important that students understand this point and not just focus just on learning the language, like grammar, vocabulary, but instead they also understand when and why they should use language in certain context. So I really like the video.
Yeah, it is quite good to see how normally when we are acquiring our first language, we don't get to see how all these competence develop each by each, right? So when we are learning a second language, now we have to be aware of all these competence, because learning a language is not only learning the grammar or learning the vocabulary. So that is that's very important. Is there any comment, Abril?
Yeah, so I think that knowing about social linguistics give us some kind of power because we are aware of the different groups, or like speaking groups, that we'll have to adapt to in order to be let's say like embraced by a group of people or society. Because we usually, for example, when we travel or whenever we go to a different place, even if we are in the same country, if we go to a different place, we hear some different um variety of a language. So in order to be welcome to a group, we have to be adaptive in some way. So I believe that teaching that adaptability to students so they can also open their mind and be more aware of those differences is very important.
So yeah, if you were a person who was taught that English is only based on grammar and vocabulary, you're going to realize that the reality is quite different, right? So you're going to have these we're going to have these different procedures that are going to be I don't remember the word, I'm sorry. But yeah, you're going to realize the real situations, right? So now I have another question right here, and I want you to speak more, because this is the one that is really important for you, because we're going to be English teachers. So now you have 3 minutes to answer this question, okay? And the question is, what issues can TESOL teachers teaching English for students of other languages can face related to the social linguistic competence, and how would you as a future teacher overcome them? So please, now we're going to start with the other one. Paoli, no, it was Abril. Abril, please, can you answer the question? It was Paoli. Okay.
Well, so I think it's really important, that students develop these communicative competences through all the other competences we saw in the video, and one of them was the social linguistic competence that certainly in TESOL educators, they often faced these challenges relating to helping students or to overcome social linguistic barriers. So, for example, many English language learners speak with different accents because they are influenced by their mother tongue. And so while accents are natural and unique part of these of learners, and sometimes these strong accents can affect the communication clarity and intelligibility. So I think TESOL educators may face the challenges helping students to in somehow to reduce the strong accents. So in this way, students can improve their comprehensive, sorry, so they can speak clearer in these English speaking environments. So what I would like to do, like in these situations, is, for example, include activities of pronunciation practice, some probably phonetic training, and providing feedback in certain sounds that learners may struggle with. And another problem would be that learners struggle with grammatical errors. So that's all.
See, that's it. I'm sorry. We ran out of time. So, in the other hand, yeah, it is really important. We can get to see how all our students doesn't know how to use. They're going to shock. They're going to shock. They're going to get shocked by uh the reality, right? And they're not going to be capable of being formal in an informal situation, or I don't know, they're going to be using something that is perceived as vulgar in a very formal situation. So yeah. What about you, Abril? I want you to hear. What issues can TESOL teachers face related to social linguistic competence, and how would you overcome them?
So now that we have like identified one of the biggest issues, which is like when we're like encapsulating students and learning one type of variety of English, the standard English, um, they become like very overwhelmed once they get to know that. So for example, when I was just starting learning English, I remember I was good with the grammar, I was good with the classes, right? But when I started to watch movies, which was my first contact like in real the real language in use contact, um then I noticed that okay, maybe I don't know English because well, I was used to the standard language, but not the common use. So I think that once we identify that that's gonna be an issue for students, I think we should keep on like encouraging them with um having this contact with different varieties of the language, such as movies, TV shows, music, and keep on like giving them more options. Like it's not only Cambridge, it's not only North American. There is Chinese, there is Indian English, there is there is Australian English, there is Mexican English, there is Tex-Mex, there are a lot of varieties that they should learn, because that's part of learning English. English is not only that. And in that way they can also develop other abilities and social skills. So I think encouraging them and like trying to put some effort in putting those other topics that can contribute their knowledge in different varieties would be the best solution, I think.
You have okay, that's it. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, you're going to see, as a student who, as an English student also, you're going to see that when you're speaking, there's always all these other varieties you have to take into consideration, but you're learning the standard one. So if you didn't acquire your English from, I don't know, from being surrounded by speaking English speaking person, then you're going to be also perceived as a very formal speaking person. So so in order to be easygoing with the, in order to fit in the society, if depending on the purpose you're learning, acquiring a language for, you have to take into consideration if you want to fit in the culture or not. So if the purpose of learning English is for traveling or for living, you have to take this into consideration, because you have to adapt your language to every context you're going to face. So that's something we as teachers have to teach, right? It is our duty to be aware of this and start doing some activities, start teaching them all these variations of language, of English itself. So yeah, that's very much it. Thank you so much for your presence. Is there any comments you want to add? Thank you for your attention. Is there anything that we missed that you want really to say? That's it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay.